Hello.
It's quite a complicated process. I mean, right now you've got three major jurisdictions, the county and the city of Coos Bay and the city of North Bend. And we all know how well they all work together.
Sometimes better than others.
Sometimes better than others. And I think that they're doing reasonably well so far with this.
The door.
It still just adds a level of complication and that, between the three of them, they have to decide how to spend $1 million. So the minute you throw money into the mix, then there's some pushing and shoving that happens. But I think there's some good things. And I'm impressed by the number of different organizations and faith-based organizations that are beginning to work together. So that to me is like a major first step, because this community, this county is the only one that's gonna solve our problem. The state isn't gonna solve it. It's everybody solved it. Let's solve, we're gonna have to work together to come up with a plan.
That works.
A plan that involves all the different stakeholders, and that's never happened before.
You guys have Coos Alpha Wellness involved and all
Oh,
that?
yeah, well, they're definitely a player.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm really impressed these days with Salvation Army. They've had a number of years that they were not particularly engaged, and they've got a new, first he was Captain Coughlin, I heard he's just been promoted to Major.
Wow.
So I think that, they are positioning themselves to doing major development on their property to support helping homeless. So we'll see if that comes through, but I know that they're really serious about it. So,
They're getting great funding from their people, so.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
I know Chris is on their board.
So it's a really interesting thing. And of course, because I did this for 25 years, I couldn't walk away from it, you know. I'm the highest paid volunteer, zero.
And what is it that you're referring to right now?
Working on the homelessness issues that plague our county.
Yeah.
And, you know, and people seem to think that we're exceptional, but it's like this everywhere.
Everywhere we go, and I travel a lot.
Can
It's worse in some places,
Yeah, it
lots
is,
worse.
you know, when I retired 13 years ago, at that time, we were beginning to have a handle on it. But once I retired, the 10-year plan that I wrote, Crystal showed you, and I wrote that plan, it got put on the shelf immediately. The minute I walked out the door, it got put on the shelf. And homelessness nationwide is now the worst it's ever been, even worse than the Great Depression.
Start recording and it's time.
All right.
It is 1:15, so I will call this meeting to order. Note from James that he's out of town, so James will not be participating. Do I have any other attendance that we need to make note of?
Jenna is not gonna be.
Oh, that's right, Jenna also notified me, thank you. And we have no public presence, so we'll pass over the public comments and go right to the minutes first. She's had a chance to.
I have a question, and it may be something that we want to discuss if we're going to the minutes. We might want to discuss it later in the meeting, their business or something. But under the steering committee doing, the city doing the community survey with the final draft coming out next week, has anyone seen the survey?
Yes, I'll just deal with that right now because it's really quick. Some of you probably have an email in your inbox. I know I got one and have already filled out my survey, so it's in action.
Yeah, I didn't get one, but my husband did, so that was the reason.
Okay, yeah. And so I'm hopeful that, they seem to feel like we're gonna have a fairly quick turnaround on this process. So I'm happy to know that it's out there. And hopefully the people that are getting them are actually filling them out. It doesn't,
Get email addresses. Did we put that in when we registered to vote?
they take the voter registration list and then they do an analysis of that list and pick out of all of the people that live within the voting rights of today. They will pick from that list people that they think are gonna respond regardless of their party affiliation. They're going to choose, population slices that they think are gonna, be representative of different demographics and are likely to respond.
I have two questions. What was your sense of the questions that were asked on the survey?
We worked on those for months. It was something that took a lot of process. Nobody is completely happy with it. But as I went through and answered the questions, I thought, okay, this is pretty much what we all agreed upon.
Okay, the we in that is the
Steering committee, because I sit on the steering.
right, and so do I, and I've never heard anything about a meeting or anything. I've been to one meeting. And
Well, it's been on the agenda for every meeting that we've had for the past year or
it
so.
must not be getting the emails. Because I mean, if you were planning, if you were figuring all this out long before I was involved. But, a couple of months ago, we talked about being on the steering committee and I was the first meeting.
Yes,
And
yeah,
I haven't seen any.
We haven't had any meetings.
yeah.
And part of what we,
I'm understanding what happened.
because part of what we did was the original survey. And then the city decided they were going to do a second survey, and a lot of what that we had decided and talked about was given to the city, and they incorporated some of it. And
I know what
Just,
happened, Joe, but, you joined the steering committee at a point in time where there was already an email group set up for the people that were working on the questions. And you never got added to that list. That's what happened. Because the emails would come out. Marie is right. We didn't have any more meetings to discuss this. And so the emails would come out and that's how we would respond. And you missed out being on that list. Yeah, sorry.
I need to know so we can add you to them.
Yeah, I just added that to myself too.
Well, is it possible for those of us who don't get the survey to see the questions?
Yes, what I will do, I think this is all right. I think it's okay for me to send you the link to the survey.
because see, I live out of city, so I won't be seeing it either.
I think it's okay, but if you live out of the voting area, please don't fill it out and turn it in. I'm not sure how much that would actually skew the results, but that would be I'll send out the link for it. Just don't fill it out and turn it in if you're not if you don't vote in Coos Bay.
Now, do you know who it would have come from? I'm hoping it didn't go into my junk somewhere.
I think mine showed up in my junk file now that you mentioned it. I'll look up the link later.
Okay.
Let's move on with our
Yeah.
other business. We'll talk about this again as we're closing.
I would move to approve the minutes as presented.
A second?
Thank you, Peggy.
Mm-hmm.
Any discussion of the minutes? I'm hearing none. So I'm still hearing none, so all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes pass, and we can move to the circulation reports. So, kinda.
I did have a question on the circulation report. For the circulation summary, and this is probably a question for the staff. Shouldn't the red box be higher than the blue box if the red box includes all items checked out anywhere?
That did not happen this month. Those figures are correct. I
Okay.
saw that too because it doesn't usually happen. I went back and rechecked the numbers and I asked Sandy and she said,
Well, shouldn't they then be the same? I'm confused.
no,
Okay,
no, they're just a little
How would it be?
I mean, how is it that things checked out in Coos Bay is higher than things checked out everywhere?
that's just.
Because
how
Coos
it
Bay
is.
would be included in that number.
That's just how it is. Yeah, I agree.
I put that down as a concern myself because that looked like every place else, there was fewer than like 100 or something.
Yeah, well, fewer, not only
104.
fewer than 100, there were 100 minus checked out.
Yeah.
Because the blue box is here, the red box is everywhere. How can the red box be less than here if here is included in the red box?
Mhm.
Those were.
Yeah, something seems a little bit.
It's like they left a day out or something in the data collection or something.
Something, yeah, it does look like an impossible situation that you can't have more items checked out in Coos Bay than were checked out in total. You can't have that.
No, that number doesn't I mean, it
That's an
doesn't make
impossible-
statistical,
Impossibility.
yeah.
Those are the numbers we had. I checked them twice.
Okay, well,
But what will you check? So where do these numbers come from? What were checked out here plus checked out everywhere else? Right?
Cohog runs those numbers.
who's co-op?
We have our system,
Okay,
our cataloging system.
Right.
And we have reports. I run the reports.
well, would you flag that there's a
We
glitch?
have the those are the checkouts, you add the renewals on there and the uncataloged paperbacks that are not in the system to get those two numbers.
So,
But that still does.
Yeah, I'm just saying, those are the numbers that it gave me. And I have no way,
But the items that are checked
Of
out
finding
here are not necessarily going to be lumped into the items that are checked out everywhere else. So it's
It's-
things that we send to other libraries that are checked out.
still, you can't have more items checked out here than in the entire system.
If we're included in the system, are we included in that number? Is that 18,553?
Okay, wait, I think I understand.
It's-
What you're saying is that this number is the number of Coos Bay items checked out.
out at other
Oh,
libraries,
okay.
That's the
Okay,
difference.
not here.
Yeah, that's the
So
difference.
people check out things here from other libraries that,
Yes.
okay,
Right,
Yes.
right.
all right, now I'm getting it.
Yeah,
Like, that's a statistical impossibility.
it is crazy to look at that,
It is,
but,
yeah,
and maybe what we should add to that is total Coos Bay items checked out at Coos Bay and total Coos Bay items checked out anywhere.
That's what it said, that's what it
So it
said.
says
No,
total
it
items,
says total items checked out.
but that means that they checked out items that aren't.
I guess it doesn't matter. You're
Yes.
right. It-
yes.
Of course, they're
Yeah.
Coos Bay items.
Then,
That includes everybody's items.
Okay, I think we beat that one to death.
Okay, I got it.
Is there anything else on the circulation report?
I just, to me, and it might just be me, on the monthly summary where it goes 2023, 2022, and 2021 seems backward to me.
Oh, well, the newest year is,
On the gate count.
Yeah.
The blue. Right here on this,
What you saying that you would start with 2021?
why,
But that 2021 is the oldest and 2023 is the most current, and we read left to right.
okay,
I think that that's why it's done that way. It's certainly more interesting to me to notice that it's gone up almost by a power of 10 every time.
yeah, I noticed that
Yeah,
too.
it's really-
increasing.
Really dramatic.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to the discussion we had last month about how, we're rebounding from the COVID.
Yeah, indeed.
All right, so let's go to the, Memorial Fund page. Oh, no, that's finances. So circulation is done, we'll go to treasurer's report. And, we're reporting on the 11th month. Next month, you will get, the year-end report.
Yes.
And open for discussion or comment.
Probably on page 7.
So 5, 6, 7, 9, 12.
I'm on page 7, yeah, page 7, anything on page 7?
She didn't have any questions.
No, I didn't have any questions either this time. And
I did on 8, but not
On
7.
8?
Yeah,
Well, I'm not hearing any on 7, so let's go to 8.
so my question, it's, where the break happens and it says materials and services, and the first item, 2005, travel expense, budget. I'm wondering, is that being increased for next year? Because it seems like it needs to be. And would you know?
I don't know offhand, but I would imagine.
Because everything is more expensive,
Yeah,
you know,
Well,
Especially travel.
We're doing more training too.
we are.
so.
I think that
I could check on that.
yeah, let's
Find
check
out.
on, I had the same sort of question, Peggy.
Uh-huh.
Mention it.
Yeah, let me see if. And this increase, then I will.
I thought she had the budget.
Yeah, didn't you guys get a copy of that for the next year? I think you did.
That should have been in.
And I think we also discussed last time that the grants line item had
Yeah.
to be bigger, so.
Yeah,
That, I should have, asked that everybody have a current budget or the next year budget and accompany this, so for us to compare. Cause I think it's been finalized, hasn't it, Christine? Yeah,
It has,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I will find out and I will let you know what I think.
yeah.
And of course, the same thing under the gifts, donations and memorials. And I think Sammy had agreed that she would increase that, so
Okay,
I think we'll see those next time.
okay, so she sent us an updated budget. And of course, it must have flipped upside down for me, so. Materials and services, trainings, is 11,000.
That is up then,
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Grants?
yeah.
The grants in the materials and services or the grants in income?
I was.
No grants and materials and
Okay,
services.
so grants and materials and services dated 8, was it at 8,000?
It was 12,400 this year.
Oh, well, I'm looking at the wrong line item. It looks like it went to 14.
That'd be good.
Well, we have a $33,000 expenditure so far.
Grants.
It's 2234, the last 4
Yeah,
digits.
the problem is,
That's tiny.
That's what I have to do too.
yeah, the grants line is at 8,000.
Well, she probably did that for a balancing.
Yes, because it depends on how much grant money comes in, and
Yeah.
how much is spent, so that's one of those in, out.
Look at the last one, gifts, donations and memorials, see what she put in there. Cause it was 1,000 this time.
Smile on my page. There you go. It's at 25,000.
There we go, that makes sense. So that will probably help take care of the grants item up above too.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions on page 8? All right, we'll move on. I'm assuming nothing on 9. Do anybody besides me look over the ledger?
Sometimes.
Well, wait, I have, if we, get to 14, I have a question. I do.
Number 14, okay.
And this is just a curiosity question, because I was looking
Curiosity killed me.
at. I'm not sure if I have the right things written down. It was to do with the question had to do with the, library of things.
Under, Amazon supplies, library of things.
Yeah, I guess it's, I wanted to know how library of things, that checkout is going, and is it included in the massive checkout? Or is it in any way separated out?
I'd say it's going well, wouldn't you? Oh, yeah. People love library things. Yeah, it's going well. And I believe it's included in that number of things that are checked out. We run.
They are cataloged. and
Yeah.
Checked in.
Yeah.
Right,
Definitely.
yeah, it's
Well,
going well.
that's good to hear, because I was curious about that.
I do have a question on 12. Who do we hire through Cardinal Services?
Oh, we have some,
Is that like security and?
so through Cardinal, we have some high school students that come and they do shelving, they help with like, projects that other staff members just don't have time to do, like little things like that, that are just a huge help.
So I'm like, that's not our staff.
No,
Bitty amounts. I'm like, that can't be our staff, so.
no, and, help with market today, things like that, so,
Sweet, okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. That's it.
Anything else on the financials? We're done with the main report. We'll go to the memorial page. But get scrolled through here. There it is. Any questions or comments on our memorial funds checking account? I just am really happy to see that the new freezer is out, the refrigerator is out there, and that
Yeah,
things are rolling again.
I agree.
That we helped or that we gave food to 1,000 people last month. That's pretty amazing.
Very. So I would move to approve the financials, and the memorial report as provided.
Second,
Moved and seconded to approve the treasurer's reports. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any correspondence, Christine?
No.
And I don't have any correspondence. So we'll move to the librarian's report.
Sam didn't have anything in particular that she wanted, me to communicate to you, but, if you have any questions, just.
I do, but I don't know. You can shut me down real fast if this is not the place to ask about it.
Okay.
But I'm wondering if there was anything more about Spanglish and concerns with.
Oh,
Any new developments, I guess.
no new developments,
Yeah.
which is good.
So
Yes.
is it kind of a all hat, no cattle situation, a big to do about nothing kind of thing?
Seems to be, which, yeah. But, yeah.
A general,
Ways that way,
a general time waster for staff.
Right.
An annoying time
Yeah.
waster.
rather unpleasant, yeah, so.
Well, that's good to hear that
Yeah.
there isn't anything else going on.
Agree.
I'm just so impressed by the programs. And, looking at the numbers of who attends. So, the craft takeouts, kids just come pick 'em, or whoever comes and picks them up and leaves,
Right,
right? And the one that was, the Read and Craft Book Club, I got all excited about that, because I thought, oh, they're reading to perform a task, and then I thought, maybe they're not. So I just was gonna ask, do they read a book that tells them how to do something, and they do it? Or is it a club that reads and they also craft? That's what they do.
so they pick a book each month and, do a craft that's kind of related to the theme of the book. So it's usually fiction books for kids, and
Okay,
then they do some kind of craft that goes along with
do
it.
you have an idea of an age range?
Elementary, so like ages or grades like 3 to 8. Yeah.
Well, you've seen the latest reading scores nationally are abysmal. I wonder why. And, that reading to perform a task is just a great thing to focus on, I think, because,
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember some of the people I worked with, I said, we need to promote this more. I said, I want to show you how to do this. It was a book on dancing, so I said, you have to stand here, you have to stand there, and it was really fun, but kids do get engaged when they read a book on how to make a flower or how to make a bat box or something like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess that's all on those, but, I wanted the Parkinson's disease, workshop or whatever. It just seemed really highly attended.
It was.
And
Yes.
is that a one and off or?
No, I think we may do that again in the future.
Okay.
That had a surprising number of attendees, so there's clearly a demand for it.
The one-on-one appointments, can you tell me kind of what that falls?
Sure, those are usually like technology appointments, so if someone needs some extra assistance with help with their device or just navigating some type of technology question, we sit down with them for an hour and help them work that out.
Okay. The grieving and healing in the outdoors.
That was Adam Sawyer. He did a
He did the
presentation and,
After Hours Foundation event, he did the presentation.
And what was the May 4th celebration?
Oh, it was
Fourth
Star
be
Wars
with you.
Day.
Yeah,
May the fourth be with you.
that's what
So
it
we
was.
had trivia, we had a costume contest, we had Star Wars crafts, we had a huge turnout.
That's so
People love it.
And Free Comic Day.
Yes, yeah, so that's an annual thing. We get free comic books and we hand them out to whoever.
Oh, so they just come and I want one and they take it and
You got
go.
it.
Okay.
Do they still do the classics comic book? I remember that.
Oh, gosh, I don't know. Probably.
That's-
You know, that's called a graphic novel. these
That's
days.
right.
I'm sure it is, you know, but
No, I don't think they
I'm
publish
impressed
those
by the-
anymore. I
Yeah.
haven't seen
Wow.
any of.
Yeah,
that was my first exposure to the classics.
Well, that's what you could read instead of reading the book for your book report.
the plant swamp, is it continuous for a while? Because before Sammy said it was really robust and is this again?
So we'll do it again. I think, our programming librarian's planning one for maybe in the fall. She wants to do it again, though. It was really popular and people were really excited about it.
Let's see. Sorry for taking everybody's time, but I don't seem to know a lot about this. The Head Start story time.
Uh-huh.
Are kids brought here?
No, so Head Start Storytime, one of our children's assistant goes to Head Start and does
Okay.
story time on Tuesdays.
Okay,
I bet it's popular.
It is. They love when she comes.
and then Change Club, what is that?
That is a new walking program that.
Oh, that, yeah, Paul.
Yep. they
Yeah, I
meet with
have
the
some
Change Club.
questions about that when we get to that too.
Well, we're on that. That's
Okay,
part of the
well-
library report.
Well, so on that walking club
Mhm.
thing, I wanted to know, was there a defined area of, I mean, like on a map? And how far are we talking about walking in?
So I don't know offhand, how far they walk, but I know that they have been walking, near the library and it's in these neighborhoods around here. It's because it's relatively walkable, it's relatively flat, and they're working their way up. So I think as everybody's stamina builds, they lengthen the amount of time that they're walking.
Cause I know that I walk a route every day in the Milner Crest area. And my complaint is that vegetation, it grows onto the sidewalk so far, you can't walk on the sidewalk.
There's a city ordinance regarding that. You could,
Paul,
You could
Mhm.
file a, you know, a
Definitely.
request for them to notify the owner to trim them, because it's the owner's responsibility.
all right, because I mean, I see like a berm that's just dirt, it keeps sliding out into the middle of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
That's been there for years. It's not like they
Right.
forget. It just has never been addressed or,
There is a city ordinance, so.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And also with, if a hedge, if the roots of the hedge are on the property, but the leaf and branches are clear out here, even when they're trimmed, you still can't walk.
Yeah, it's not supposed to impede the
Yeah,
pathway.
I would have you call, well, Greg Hamlet, but Dave Wagoner at the city.
I don't really wanna be the neighborhood narc about,
No, but you could just say, if.
hey, Dave, is anybody driving around looking?
Yeah,
I can say that.
yeah. He's gonna want. some.
Here's a hot tip. Order it.
I'm calling anonymously, but.
I have been known I'm a tall guy, when I'm out walking, and there'll be places that I have to stoop to get under. I take and start breaking the branches off.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, folks,
Yeah,
have a little consideration.
it's when you go from, Ocean Boulevard to the hospital, all the ambulance and stuff, they go that way. And there are a lot of people they drive relatively fast. It just makes me nervous to have to be on the street all the time.
Yeah, they do drive fast there, even though it says 25 miles an hour, please go slow.
I should put a target on my back.
Anything else, Peggy?
I think that's all I have. I think, oh yeah, I asked that.
I would say that there is a lovely group of programs that you guys provide to our readers and our constituents, and I'm always impressed when I read the report.
We tried.
That was my remark on what's coming up and what's going on, is that it's really varied and it's very creative, and
Mhm.
things that are going on is pretty cool.
So one more comment on the walking club.
Mhm.
Would you have them notify me when they come out 4th Street, and I'll put up a lemonade stand?
It's a deal.
A Charlie Brown style lemonade.
Oh,
Lucy did,
you gotta have, no, yeah, it's Lucy.
But you've seen the ad.
Yeah, it's $5 for a,
$5.
for a glass of lemon.
I'm motivated. One more thing, before we move to the next item, and that's the graph on page 23. And I just have a request for staff. It's a spreadsheet. There's absolutely I'm assuming it's a spreadsheet. There's no reason that we can't have a total at the bottom.
And it should update with there should be a formula in there.
Yeah, there should be a formula put in there so that every time you update the numbers, the total automatically updates itself. And because as I was looking at it, I thought, well, how many people have been the estimated attendance? It looks like it's somewhere around 10,000, but I was gonna try to add it up in my head.
Yeah, and that's not counting the people who come in here and use it when there's nobody in here using it.
Okay, anything else on the librarian's report, or we can move on? All right, Marie, would you give us an update for the Friends?
Okay, well, this is what we've just been talking about. The Friends had a visit today from the children's librarian at their board meeting,
Wow.
and she handed out this wonderful summer program.
Yeah, look at this.
So if you're interested, I'll pass it around because there's some really neat things
That looks
going
cool, yeah.
on. And I know that you're going to have more of those.
We are.
Yes, they ran out of them. We were the last recipients to get them. But anyway, So there's so many neat things that they are doing and things that are kind of off the wall that you don't expect from libraries. So
Which is
this
good.
is the new trend,
Yeah,
but I think you'll find it interesting. Okay. Back to business. The bookstore in May did $701. The June book sale, which was a giveaway, basically, in the Myrtlewood room, everything was free for both days. And they made about $280 on the free. The total for the sale was $547.76. The rest of it was done here in the Cedar Room, which they did a bag sale. But so for basically free books, we did quite well.
Which I had intentions of coming and getting a bag and somehow I didn't make it.
Yeah, well, anyway, our next book sale will be in August, the 5th and 6th. We don't do July because it usually, the 4th of July weekend kind of always comes somewhere in there.
and this is yet.
So, tomorrow is half price in the bookstore. And we, gave the, library $3,500 as our quarterly payment for their
What was that
programming.
number again?
3,500.
Wow.
And I know that you all know, but I'll state again that when the Friends were started 50 years ago, why, the idea of them raising money was to provide programming for the children's department. So some of that still goes to the children's
That's great,
department.
yeah.
And back then, they had one book sale a year and they were lucky if they made $1,000. We do 9 book sales a year. And some years we do quite well and others not so well, but we try to,
You do a lot more than $1,000.
yes,
Well, and you look at the total that they've done in their lifetime,
$500,000.
$500,000,
Wow.
yeah.
And those are on 25-cent books.
Yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it?
So that's mine. If you have
Thank
any
you, Marie.
questions. The bookstore is open 4 days a week.
I think about tombstones, what goes on your tombstones? I was thinking on mine, I wanted paper, scissors, rock, but yours might be 25 cents.
Yeah.
So, foundation report, I can report that, we did not hold, a meeting in June, so nothing has really changed since, our report from last month. We're still, focused on raising money to support the development of the new library, and I think that's pretty much what the foundation's mission has always been, so, keep active.
Well, this next time we will start planning for our fall fundraiser,
right.
which is. So
I already have stuff for the silent auction.
I've been cleaning out my
Are there
attic.
been enough of these? We could have some at the visitor centers.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Sometimes the families come in and they're like, what can we do with our kids today? And I'm like,
Perfect, yeah.
Send them to the library.
unless there's anything else on foundation, I will move on to item number 8, old business, which is basically a review of the open positions on the board. My position is open, and as you all have heard, I am term limited, so I will be gone as of next meeting. I guess I have to open the meeting, right, and then hold the election. That's what happened. That's what happened to me. Yeah. I opened the meeting and hold the election, and then I stepped down. Okay. So, but I think, who else? There's somebody else on the list. Peggy is, right.
Yeah.
And are we the only 2 board members?
but I don't think she's term limited, so.
No,
she
no.
could come back.
No,
Right.
but she should be reelected at the next
Yeah.
meeting.
And the city council, whoever the city council puts for their person on the board.
Yes, of course,
For
but,
once.
but once she's on the board for that renewal, we should formalize it by reelection.
Yes, yes.
And that closes on Thursday, June 30th. So next Thursday at 5 PM, people can apply up until then.
But she doesn't have to reapply.
Sammy expressed that she already.
Tammy has put her name in that, has let the city know.
Yes.
Do you have any open, how many open positions are there?
So there's 2 open positions.
Do we have any idea how many applicants there might be?
Don't know.
Okay.
I was gonna say, sometimes there's none, sometimes.
Well, if that's the case, I mean, that's probably not, you probably can't be given that information. I know somebody I would ask to serve.
Well, all they have to do is to fill out the application and they'll be considered.
Mhm.
Yeah, any other old business?
So,
Bob, do people know, cause I didn't, that are new to the board, when you start the next meeting and they have elections of officers, how that runs? I mean, you're here and they say, who wants to be president?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
We kind of did a call around, I think, last time to see who might have wanted to have some of these positions, so that might happen again. But I think last time we just, like, you said you'd stay
was
treasurer,
perfect.
and I was like, I nominate Becky to be treasurer.
Well, it's sort of been, I don't know, I'm sure it's not written into the bylaws, but it's sort of been that the vice president is the president in waiting kind of a thing, that's sort of. Yeah, who is the vice president? Ah,
okay,
Yeah.
so you know, then you're at least on I'm on
Yeah.
alerted.
Yeah.
Cause, the thing with me and treasurer, I don't have to do anything except show up and I live close enough that works pretty well, so. I
And
can-
sign some
I mean,
documents.
I do look at what I'm signing, but
And you did, I watched you, you asked her about that question.
okay, any other old business? Is there any new business? Any new business from any of the board members, all right? Do we have announcements?
Other than there's gonna be a lot of people in town these next couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
This week we have UTV takeover and a 35-team baseball tournament, and the Coquille Indian Tribe Restoration is this weekend. So there is not a hotel room to be found within 100 miles.
Is there anything else anybody wants to bring up before we adjourn?
I do. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate your leadership and your
Well, thank you.
volunteering and thoughtfulness and digging around for answers for this board. It just brings the meeting to life to me.
It's fun for me. I enjoy doing it.
And I'm not as strong on the budgets, but you're looking at them all the time and
I'm a treasurer for a $9 million a year operation, so this is fun to do. Compared, our financial reports at that board meeting are 30 pages
Oh,
long.
yeah, yours. We did, I concur, I really enjoyed having you as
Thank
the
you.
chair and just on this board in general and in the community, all the things that you do in the community. I hope that doesn't change.
Probably not. I find that even if I wasn't planning on doing something, I frequently get recruited. Last week it was a call on Wednesday night saying, can you be at the city manager's office at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning?
Yeah, he always has these early meetings.
I know.
I've had this discussion with him in the past.
Well, when I went into that meeting, I said, okay, here I am. I have to let you know that this is probably the first 8 o'clock meeting I've been to since I retired.
you good.
Yeah.
Showed up. I also wanted to say I gave a poster to Christina, that our Bay Area concert band has added an evening concert, which is on the
Oh,
13th.
nice.
We are honoring Bob Gillette, who was the first conductor of the concert band for almost 20 years. And then he and his wife are driving down. We'll have a little reception at the back.
Nice.
And then,
And the one on the 15th.
and the 15th is the,
Oh, CMA.
yeah,
kickoff.
we've,
That's the
we've
first
done
one.
that since we've been alive.
Yes.
But, anyway, you guys, it's your concert band, so you're always welcome to come. It's free.
I'm looking forward to the concert on the 15th for sure.
Yeah.
We like how all the concerts kick off the
Yeah.
CMA and.
Anything else for the good of the order?
That's it for me.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.